Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, March 30th, 2020 Dars Highlights. The Dars began with the Shaykh's commentary on the meaning of ghafla, heedlessness, or forgetfulness of Allah. He says ghafla takes on many names. You call it a veil, hijab, call it a nafs, a lower self. You can call it bu'd, distance from Allah, call it ananiya, self-centeredness, call it hubbur ri'asa, power lust. These are all different names for one thing, ghafla, forgetfulness of Allah. If that one thing is stripped away, if it is taken out, the human being then perceives all things. The human being then perceives tawheed, divine oneness. So once ghafla is removed and the human being perceives tawheed directly, where does that perception come from? Where does the perception of divine unity stem from? The human self, because the entire cosmos is enfolded within the human being. So take away ghafla and the human being will understand tawheed, and with it the entire cosmos. You carry the 99 names in your very hands. They're inscribed on your hands. The realities are deposited on your palms. You have 18 on your right and 81 on your left. The palm of your hand is invoking its Lord, but you are heedless of your own self. The palm of your hand sees the names of Allah. It knows which arshiyah of a name belongs to what day. The throne or the grounding of a particular name for a particular day is known by the palm of your hand. The palm of your hand contains that knowledge. The eye in your skull, the ear, your tongue, they all are in a state of glorifying their Lord. Your breath that comes in and out of you is an invocation and a remembrance of Allah. Your heart is pumping and invoking its Lord. You are an entire nation proclaiming God's oneness. Your eye perfects its worship. Your hair perfects its worship with meticulous perfection. Yet you comprise or contain a certain particle or a part of darkness, which is called ghafla, forgetfulness. And this ghafla rejects and refuses to accept this nation proclaiming divine oneness. It rejects your configuration and your structure. It wants to make the eye, the ears, the heart, your limbs, it wants to make them dark. It wants to bring them into darkness and out of light. So the heart then becomes rusty. It accumulates rust because you want to become rusty. Because you stay in places where there's humidity, where rust can accumulate quickly. Because you refuse to move into the dhikr yourself. Because you return to coldness, to death, to stillness, to darkness. You refuse the human kingdom that is your own very self. You need a movement. You need to generate motion in order to bring it out, this nation, out of darkness. Instead, you pursue the appetites, and you move the hand that belongs to you, that invokes the names and knows them. You move it in a direction that it itself does not want to go to. You tell your hand to steal, and it steals by your command, not its command. The hand has its own conscience. This is why certain hands become paralyzed, because they refuse this norm, this qanun, this anti-normal tendency of ghafla. If you devote your hand to glorifying Allah, Then the hand will rush and will move with you. It'll speed. Your congregation will be in harmony. Your lines will straighten up. Your heart will then be at peace, and you will find joy in the presence of your Lord. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad kama sallaita ala Sayyidina Ibrahim wa ala ali Sayyidina Ibrahim wa barik ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad كما باركت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد